Should be. Got it.
Looking old. Looking old. He's better than he was. We gave him, well, we gave some aspirin for a few days. And he healed himself up for the most part. He's showing some age. Slow to get down, slow to get up. He won't sit. He won't sit. He won't sit. I said you give him a treat and stuff, he actually wants to sit. So he either stands or lays down. He can't sit. So he's pretty slow to get down, pretty slow to get up. Like there's some feed involved. He gets glucosamine every day. He has for a while. Glucosamine. His drugs. It's that every day. Just a couple, just like they just look like almost a dog. lined up right now because he had to determine his schedule. You know, he had to go to places. But I don't know. He thinks he's gonna redo a scale. Take it out. He's about what Mason's at. He doesn't mind, but it blocks the schedule. That's what Mason did. He wants to start figuring out his process. And if you're a band, it takes a lot of flexibility. No, he liked it. He just wanted to take other stuff. When he's in the band, it locks up that very day. And then it makes it a lot tougher. Different section of this to open up the top of the hospital. Whereas college classes are really often. Rather than we only have one session. Yeah, so they're actually it was nice, and Mason not being hired whole semester. For sure. Well, I also helped him. I put in my 2 cents on it.
You click the off button.
I told him, I said, "You're taking classes."
I think that's our.
Yeah. Composition, stuff like that.
Yeah, we're good. You know what to do.
Instead of compressing that to me, make it publish after 15 books. You know, has a doctorate and all this stuff. drive. Nice looking drive.
Lily, do you mind if I stay up with you?
Actually, I do mind, but I don't want to.
You don't like what?
I actually do mind, but I don't want to.
Okay, that's fair. I'm gonna say sucks to be you, but is this all set to go?
I think so. That's how it was when I got here.
Cool.
Yeah.
When are they gonna be done?
Well, it went into overtime, but I think the girls started. So, hopefully, before 7:30.
Because that's what, like 6 boys?
I don't know.
Because I know it's like Garrett or Jack. And, yeah. Yeah. So hopefully they get done in time, but it's when we first found out that it happened,
Well,
we were
welcome
like,
and thank you so much for being here tonight. We made it. It's like our end of the year concert, and this is the 5th grade you see in front of you. We're going to start things off with a song called Homework Blues.
Thank
Oh my gosh, they've improved so much since August, right? It's incredible because like the first time it was like hot cross buns, but like a torture version of, right? And like, wow, they like can play really good. It sounds good. The instruments like sound like they're supposed to. I'm so proud of these guys. And get this, you guys, it's not like we practice a lot, because if you don't hear it at home, it's not meaning you play it at home. And we only get to play once a week, so they're just like getting so much better just from that little bit of time that we have together. And I actually, like I said, this, most of the high school group, if you're with us to the end tonight, you hear the high school, they would tell you the same thing, like, yeah, you know, I started off, like, I really practiced a lot, or some, and now I just kind of practice at school, and hey, that's all right, though, because we want everybody to be a part of the group if they want to be. The next thing that we're going to do for you is play a little bit of section songs. Last week, this group actually gets to like be like the recruiting tool for the 4th grade, and it's so cool because like it's a little bit intimidating if you hear like some of the top high school athletes, or not athletes, musicians like play their stuff, and they're like, wow, that's really impressive. Holy cow, I'll never be able to do that. But a lot of the 4th grade like know these guys, right? They might even be related to some of them. And they like play with them on the recess, on the playground, and like they do sports with them and everything. And so they're like, okay, hold on a second. I know you couldn't play this instrument a year ago. So like they get to be the ones to be like, hey, well, this is what my instrument's like. I had no clue what it was like at the beginning of the year, and now here's what's good about it, here's what's bad about it. So we played for the 4th grade, and then we did some like instrument demonstrations, where each section picked a song. They're like, all right, we think this like kind of shows up, and we sound good on this song. We want to show the 4th grade what this sounds like. So we're going to share those songs with you tonight. And hey, if you got a 4th grader in the audience, like, hey, band is for you, all right? I mean, like, I am serious. Like, you can be like, I don't even think I like it. Like, that's fine. We'll pick something that you do. Like, hey, somebody in my family picked tuba just because he thought it sounded most like a fart, right? So it could be for you. It could be for you. It does, right? Go in, yeah. All right, so these are quick songs, but I do want the section to get a little recognition. So they're gonna stand up as soon as their song is completed. Go. Feel free to give them a round of applause. It's not very often that you get to see, especially if you have trumpet player or something. You don't get to see them very much because they're just kind of buried in the back. So hopefully you enjoy this. There'll be multiple selections, and we're just gonna move one right after the other. So we're starting with the flutes. Wow, that's some enthusiastic applause from the sixth grade. I think they're probably jealous. We didn't get to do that last year. They're like, oh my gosh, that sounds so funny. Hey, that's really great. I would just really like that. Like, they actually sound like the instrument is supposed to sound now. And if you haven't heard it at home, you might be like, are you still like squeaking and honking and stuff? But like, no, they play the right notes and like the right rhythms most of the time. And our we get to like show them off a little bit. I hope you enjoyed it. We have one more piece for you, and it does require a little bit of setup, so please excuse me for just 1 second.
Oh yeah.
Wait, so I know you think this looks like a tuba, but it is actually not. It's called it's a tuba. The composer for this next song put a saxophone mouthpiece on the tuba, and he's like, I have made a tyrannophone. It's supposed to be what a Tyrannosaurus sounds like. Now, I know you're going to think, when you hear it, that's not what a Tyrannosaurus sounds like, and I would ask you, how do you know, okay? A long time ago. So, we actually had to draw names from a hat. I took every fifth grader that wanted to try this solo instrument and put their names in a hat, Mickey hat actually, and we had Mr. Rebert's student teacher draw the names, so that way I was like, that way they're mad at you, not me. And Matt's lens is going to be playing this, you can't miss it. There's a little spot here where you're going to get to hear the Tyrannophone in our next piece. Now, before we play it, there's one more thing I'm curious about this. Because these students really like it whenever, like sometimes I'd be a little goofy on stage, or in class, especially in class. And so I told them like the song of like, it kind of starts like, if you remember that old movie Jurassic Park. No, it doesn't seem that old to me, but it's really kind of an old movie. But at the beginning of it, there's like this part where like, it's like, oh, there's dinosaurs. And you just hear this like low rumble, boom, and it shakes the footprint. Remember that? It's like kind of an iconic movie scene. So the song starts like that. And I was like, guys, it's almost like we're on this like stranded island. And like, you're like, oh no, a dinosaur's coming. And then all of a sudden, like, busts out of the jungle. And you're like, he's gonna eat us. And it's this T-Rex. And he's like, I just want to party. And then I did like, yeah, put your hands together, but like the T-Rex style. I was like, hey, you know. Okay, so while they were playing it, there's a part of this song, hopefully they do it, where they play soft. Okay, and I was like, just imagine this T-Rex, you know, there's this song, you know, shout, it's like, a little bit softer now, a little bit louder now. I'm like, well, he's got little T-Rex arms there. He's like, so I did that as a dance in class. And they're all like, you gotta do the dance at the concert. I'm like, that is ridiculous. So what I think, parents, they must just really like whenever adults do embarrassing things. Say like public humiliation, and they're just like excited about this all the time. I will not be doing the dance. I'm very sorry. Students, you want to see me embarrass myself? Come back next year. I know, it's heartbreaking, right? But hey, look, parents, it's really for your own sake. Because when I turn around and face them, they see my funny face, and you just have to see my rear end shaking, and that nobody wants to see. Believe me, gross. All right, so our last piece for you, before we turn over to the 6th grade band, is Tyrannosaurus Rocks. I hope that you enjoy it. Well, I think we were ready. We had a missing percussionist. He appeared. And this is the 6th grade that you see in front of you. I promise you're going to hear a big difference from what the 5th grade sound like to what the 6th grade sound like. And I also promise they've only been playing for 1 extra year. Nothing else special about them. They're just as average as a 6th grader could be. Really sorry if they're like, oh, but you said we were special. I mean, yes, they are special, like every other kid. The first song that we're going to play for you is called Adrenaline Rush. Hey, this next piece is going to take you back to like a 50s diner kind of feel. It's called Hot Fudge Sundae, and we hope you enjoy it. Like a classic right out of 50s rock. Imagine this like giant ice cream cone that the sweet spots are, it's like the Royal Sundae or something. But for a while they had like ice cream nachos, like, oh, it was so good. So if they have those, yeah, go get them. But like I told the kids, like, you know, like it's like they bring it to you, the table, and it's like this giant glass bowl, and you're like, oh my gosh, it's so good. It's like such a hot night. I can't wait to have this ice cream music. Or it like starts with like this kind of like angel music, and then little by little, the sundae disappears till it's gone, and then all that's left is one of the last drop. We hope you enjoy it. It's Hot Fudge Sundae. Hey, it's not his fault. Everything is in a different place on stage than in the band rooms. He's like, I'm not what I'm supposed to play. The cymbal is just a little further over, so we got it. That's all. We're good. This next piece, like you're gonna take like a spaceship trip all across a really far away, called Distant Galaxy. So we've got a lot of things that we had to work on this one. One of them is tempo changes. That's like when the speed of the music changes. Okay, so I told him, I was like, on the one hand, like, you know, it's like the fast view is like you're inside the rocket, you're like, oh my gosh, we're going so fast. And then like the other view is like from outside and you're like, oh, holy cow, space is so big. Like the next closest galaxy is like a billion, million, trillion light years away or something. You can never get there. Even if you travel the speed of light for like a million years, you wouldn't even be close. Okay, so it's like huge. But we did really get to work on a lot of good things in this. And like, this is a great piece because like when we started it, they were all like, Cadence, what are you doing? This is awful. And it was like revolt. We're like, guys, okay, one of the biggest lessons we learned in band is how to eat an elephant. Okay, if you've heard me say that before, sorry, it's, you know, it's like an old saying, but I just love it because one bite at a time, right? You got this gigantic elephant, you're like, I'll never be able to eat all that. I'm like, guys, every day's another bite. That's all. You don't have to get the whole entire elephant, you know, today. Like, we just get a little bite. And then pretty soon they're like, wow, we're pretty good at this. This sounds all right. And you're going to see in the percussion section that they really had to develop some speed skill too. So that's another really cool thing. And I think you'll see as groups progress, you'll start to see more and more of that happening. So I hope you enjoy it. Strap in. You're ready for a ride. Here is Distant Galaxy. All right, so this group has one more piece to play for you. It happens to be one of their favorite, and also I personally think one of their strongest performances. But before they play, I want to thank you as parents for having your students involved in band. I told them like during Teacher Appreciation, whatever, I can't talk. Teacher Appreciation Week. Yeah, Teacher Appreciation Week. I told them during that week that like I know it's really nice. Like you do like not to like little cards and thank you notes and like it is really nice. One of my jokes though is that I'm like nothing makes up for 179 days of you being a jerk like this one thank you card. Thank you so much. Okay, but parents, it's like Mother's Day or Father's Day, right? Like it's the same thing. You're like, oh great, thanks. Can you just like clean up your room when I tell you next time instead of this breakfast in bed that I gotta clean up now? Oh, whatever. I mean, you know what it's like. You know. But I really gotta tell you that without them, like, I mean, no offense to anybody that teaches like math or chemistry or like ELA, any of those other very important real skills that they really need. They're so boring. I mean, like, seriously. Like, you gotta work on problems, like, do write essays and stuff, but we show up and play. Like, that's it. And also, it's an elective, so I was like, students, I appreciate you so much because without you, I'd like being an unemployed guy. Like, I can't teach you unless you're here. So, that's my, like, plea and cry. I really enjoy teaching your children. I really am glad that they're my students. Like, let's keep that working, just like every year. Like, hey, sign up. It's totally normal for us to not always like each other, me and these students. Just like in any family, there's times that you're like, wow, I really love these guys. And then there's other times where you're like, oh my gosh, what was I thinking, right? Like a true family, like you don't always just like all hugs and happy. I mean, unless my family's totally different, probably not. But if it is, I'm really sorry that we just aired our dirty laundry out there for everybody. Okay? But I hope that I will just keep getting a chance to see these guys grow up and mature. Can you hear like they goof around and way in the back? They grow out of that eventually. I mean, I hope. I don't know if they will. But it's great when they don't even know what you're talking about. That's the best. So, all I really want to say is like, hey, keep them out of music. Thank you so much. The support of you parents, like financial and also pain and suffering of, you know, like hearing what they sounded like and, you know, keeping, like sometimes it's a fight. I get it. You know, like sometimes my own children, none here tonight that I want, but sometimes they need to be reminded like to do stuff they don't want to do. And like if I left it up to them, they choose not very good things all the time. So it is true. Sometimes we know what's best. And, you know, for me, it's like being in music, right? You know, like you can look up research. I'm not going to go into it. Mr. Stingray, I'm sorry. You really wanted me to go into like all the things that music do that's really great for your brain, like lifelong skills. Google it though, and you'll find out. You'll be like, oh my gosh, everything to do music. So after this piece, we'll take a quick break while we clear the stage and then bring up the 7/8. I also want to invite you to stay for as much of this concert that you would can. The 7/8 will play and then followed by the high school band. But I totally understand. If you gotta go, you got things going on, I appreciate that you're here tonight. Thank you. Feel free to leave, shame-free. I'm not like taking attendance, we're not like using the cameras or anything. Just really appreciate you being here tonight. So we're gonna end our portion of the concert with a piece by John O'Reilly called Online March.
job, Jack. How'd you feel about all that?
Okay.
Yeah, it's good.
Wednesday or Thursday.
Sam, just hit off and then hit yeah.
All right, thank you for sticking with us. This is the 7/8 band that you see in front of you. These guys rehearse every other day together, like as a combined band. And we've had a pretty big year. We started the year with like having a parade like the third week of school or something. That was hectic for sure. And then this is our final performance of the year. They did 3 performances together, on top of numerous honor bands and jazz bands that these guys have had a chance to be a part of. The first piece that we're going to play for you is called Antigua Bay. oh my gosh, this group is like a lot bigger. There's like not even room for me to get by the side. And Manning's like, hey, you're like running into me. I was like, I don't know where to go, it's awkward. All right, I hope you enjoyed that. This next one you're totally gonna recognize, I think. You can sing along if you want. I mean, if it's like on key and everything. But it's highlights from Beauty and the Beast. There'll be a few solos in here that you'll hear, and hopefully some tunes that you will recognize. Okay, that actually happens way more often than you think. Like I fling that baton. It's like tiny, this tiny little stick. I just can't have a hold on to it. And there'll be times I'll be like, all right, let's go, and then it goes flying off into the corner of the room or something. So the front row has a totally different experience than the rest of the band. There'll be times that they'll like see me like it's true. Sometimes I fall off the podium, and I don't know if you've ever like fallen off a very short ledge, but it's like the same reaction as if you were like falling into the Grand Canyon or like off the top of the building. You're like, oh my god, no! Okay, and then like it's like, oh, I couldn't just step down. So the front row like regularly is just like, oh my gosh, that's. Or like I'll be like saying something a little louder, trying to talk over them to the back row, and like I spit on them. It just happens. I'm sorry. It's like the beginning, being in front of a Gallagher concert or something where you have a sheet that you just need, the watermelon smasher guy. That's he's way old, way old. I'm getting old, okay, so we might not get that. Okay, but sorry for that. Thanks, Lexi, for helping me out. Hope you enjoyed that. Hey, before we play our final number, which is called Fire Dance, I would like to just encourage you, parents, this is a perfect time. Let me do a quick Denver Booster Club commercial. Here's why this is such a great time, because although they are busy with sports all the time, if you get in now into the Booster Club, you serve your 3 years. It's like a 3-year term as a board member. It's like you're done, and then they're like, oh, hey, look, they're in high school or playing varsity sports, and I already served on the board, and now I don't feel guilty about like not working concessions or sending out mailers or like meeting and board meetings. So if that sounds like something that you want to do, like I don't know the total, but I mean it's crazy. It's like $40,000 a year that our Booster Club gives to our programs: band, choir, speech, like all the fine arts, but like also the robotics, also like paying for all the uniforms, like the whole athletics group. Because even though you guys see these kids as musicians, a lot of them are also athletes. In fact, most of them are also athletes. So we thought, hey, why not like let all of our kids be supportive here? The biggest thing we're looking for this, it's way simple, you ready? We just want somebody that could be willing to send out sponsorship letters. It's like a really easy job, it happens once a year. And if you're like, oh, I could do that, you just have to print off letters, follow up, and then they mail them back to you, and you like collect all the money. I mean, you do have to turn in the money, so I mean, that's an important part. If you're like, I like the sounds of that, like, it goes to the Booster Club. But if that's something that you'd be willing to do, we're looking for somebody to fill that role. The only way that we can just keep having success is when our community is really involved in the school. And that's one of the things that is so great about this place. So before we play our final piece, let me tell you thanks again. I really appreciate having these guys out. They are great, and although sometimes they drive each other and me crazy, I don't know if you can tell, but I have a lot less hair than I used to, and there's a lot more gray in my beard. So it just happened. Okay, and I'm pretty sure that's just comes with the territory. Thank you so much for having them involved in music. This is our final number, Fire Dance by David Schaefer. Think about the way that you can just like gaze into a fire. Like sometimes it's like a raging furnace. Sometimes there's like a little spark that just kind of floats along. Or sometimes like, at the end of the night, you're just like watching the campfire, the coals are glowing, that kind of just like really peaceful and memorizing. I hope you hear all of those things in this, and we hope you enjoy it. Fire Dance.
maybe I would do that. can probably.
Hey, well, welcome to the final portion of our concert. You may notice that some of the students are dressed colorfully. That's because they have won extra honors this year, and they are our most talented students. So the ones that are all wearing the like bright colored stuff, I know you might think like, nah, those are soccer cleats. No, it's really because they're just that talented. Like we wanted to make sure that they stood out. Actually, what happened was we had like a million things happening, like as always. In fact, right now there's a varsity baseball doubleheader going on. But thankfully, Rewords is like, I can do it without the band guys. Okay, we're great. Like, all right, that's fine. But the soccer game, boys game, went into overtime, double overtime, ended in a shootout about an hour later than it was supposed to go. So the girls were like, oh my gosh, you guys, we can have a concert here. Now, there's a bunch of male soccer players too, but their game ended earlier, so they were the ones who went in overtime and had time to shower and change and everything. And so these, the girls soccer players are here like literally right after a win. Way to go, girls. Awesome. Yeah. They're worried that they're sweaty or stinky. I was like, I promise you, I am sweatier and stinky. You're like, no one will notice. Like, or just blame it on me anyway. So what's awesome about that is that like it's just proof that like everybody can do everything. So the first piece we're going to play for you is one of the pieces that we played at Large Group Festival, where the band received we had 3 judges. We had 3 Division I superior ratings, which is awesome. Thank you. It's even awesomer that we were able to do that the same year that the choir has, which hasn't happened in like 20 years or something like that. And, and on top of that, I thought there was a silver lining to this, because when we got back, we talked a little bit about the recording and some of the comments, and we're like, we really felt like they were like, we could have played better. There were some moments that we had done better. I was like, well, hey, look, other judges say that you're doing well, that like you have reached the top level, and you're still saying we could even do better than that. So I took that as a very positive. We hope that you enjoy this. This piece called Rippling Watercolors was inspired after Brian Balmages, who's the composer, was watching his children watercolor paint. Okay, and he was like, just kind of this great moment where like I was just struck by how beautiful it is. Sometimes just the kids are quietly playing, they're getting along, and he watched as they would dip the paintbrush in the water to like clear it out. And he's like, you just see the color, kind of like new color just float in and like slowly spread out. And so it's supposed to be like give you that picture, but also this kind of like like longing love for his children. So we hope that you enjoy it. It's Rippling Watercolors. Sorry, not you. Like, I was like, oh, wait, I got to turn around. Hey, at this point, we'd like to make this brief presentation. I'd like to introduce Jaden Wagner and turn things over to her. As you may know, we had the opportunity to travel this year, which the seniors missed, sadly, last year. Like, it's such an important and awesome experience. And so we have just a little bit about that.
Okay, wow, this is more intimidating than I thought. Okay, first off, I'd like to thank you all for coming out, and an extra big thank you to the senior parents who pushed us so hard to get where we are. Tonight, the band class of 2022 and the entire band would like to say a huge thank you to Scott and Libby Kresbach. Also, sorry Scott, I just realized that I was texting you, not that I actually cared if you were here, only because I had a speech for you. As many of you know, in March we went to Disney World in Florida. What was supposed to be a 26-hour trip turned into 31 hours for some of us. Crazy, I know. However, that didn't stop us from making the most of a 31-hour bus ride and enjoying every moment the second we got to the park. This trip was made possible by the one and only Scott and Libby Kretzbach. They do everything, finding a resort, figuring out how Crazy Days will look, and handling everything above and beyond. As a token of our gratitude, we would like to present Scott and Libby with this sign made by the beautiful Suzanne Werzer, and signed by everyone that went. Scott and Libby, thank you for making this trip unbelievably incredible, and thank you for putting in all the hard work every day to make this trip unimaginable. Thank you guys. Now you can join stage.
In case you missed that, all of the students signed this that went, and it was really, truly a trip that we could not have done without Scott and Libby. So Scott, Libby, thank you so much. No one will ever understand the amount of time that you put into it and the amount of work that you saved for me and Mr. Baird, or the amount of money that you saved these families because we didn't go through a travel agent like this guy. He just did it because he loves doing it. So thank you very much. Thank you, Scott. Well, our next piece is not a joke, although I think it was written as a joke, and I thought about even changing the title before I introduced it to the students. We were looking for another faster tune to do about a month ago, and we just, there's websites where you just listen to the songs, and I was like, oh my gosh, there's this song called Angry Beavers. That's like such a dumb name, right? And then we listened to it, I was like, it's kind of good. Oh. Like, why did he call it that? Well, there's actually a story. The guy that wrote this had a really stellar little brass section, and they had titled themselves the Angry Beavers, right? So they're always angry because they never got really good parts. The parts were always lame, like whole notes and boring stuff, So he's like, all right, so this one's for the Angry Beavers. So we hope that you enjoy it. It's kind of odd. It's a little fun. It uses some mixed meters, so you're going to be like, what's going on here? But I think we had a lot of fun with it. I hope that you enjoy it. Angry Beavers. The next piece is called Psalm 42, and it is very short but beautiful. And I want to share the story for you. The seniors actually chose this piece as one. I think they did maybe as freshmen. And it starts with offstage trumpet solo, which you're going to hear played by Sean Kiefer. And then the band repeats this again. But the dedication, like Sam Hazel wrote this at the request of one of his friends who sadly lost a child. And it was like for Psalm 42, it was a psalm that they used in the funeral. So use this as the inspiration. So I told the students, like, as sadly we are more familiar with grief this year than we have been in the past. It sometimes just comes over you. Like you just have this like wash of emotion. You're like, you're okay, fine. And then just whoosh, out of nowhere. And I hope that you'll hear some moments like that in this. I hope that you can appreciate this. It's just this beautiful, beautiful little tune written by Sam Hazel called Psalm 42.
Hello everyone, my name is Sean Cooper. You all talk with me. You guys talk. I just wanted to explain tonight how this program has impacted me throughout my 4 years. And I just want to say that, sorry, I'm not going. Mr. Cooper has always been a great mentor to me, especially in the last year. He has always sacrificed his free time and weekends to go out to all the events and that I and the other students go to. He has a very interesting sense of humor. And he likes to crack many jokes to varying degrees of success, but it's to liven up our lives. And he always puts the needs of students before his own, and he shows us his love of teaching. And he's also acted more as a colleague than a teacher, because there are days where I'll just sit down and we can have a chat, and I ask him a question, and usually he tells me to go to Google, but But tonight, I just wanted to celebrate my time at Denver and how he's impacted me with a few personal belongings that I've had. So this first one is from the Downbeat Student Magazine Award. I got a copy of the certificate, and I just wanted to give it to him because it's something that he inspired me to do, compose and write music, along with all of my UNI professors. Shout out Dr. Conrad and Dr. Mers. They weren't able to make it, but they're amazing human beings. So here's the first thing. And I also have the very first chart that I ever wrote, and that is personal meaning to me and him, because he heard me getting anxious about the results of the contest about it for about a week. And I'm pretty sure you're saying in his head, oh my God, why don't you just shut up? But this means a lot, and I just wanted him to have the first copy of it, along with the magazine that my award is published in. So please,
This next piece I do not take any credit for. Actually, it was found by a student, Elaine Hildebrand, and it was actually about 2 years of her saying, hey, Mr. Cooper, you should really listen to this song. It's really great. I know it's like from a movie, but it's like actually really great music. And so finally, after like 18 months of me being like, whatever, Elena, we're not playing this cartoon music, I finally listened to it. I was like, oh my gosh, that's really good. I remember playing, I was like, Elena, this is great. Thank you so much. So we hope that you enjoy this. It is music from How to Train Your Dragon. And how about that, Elena Hildebrand? That girl knows how to pick a song, right? She is hired. All right, at this time, I'd like to take just a minute to recognize our award winners and letter winners from like Students' Achievements over the year. Kind of serving like, like in sports to be like their end of the year banquet. So what I'm going to do is announce the 9th through 11th grade letter winners and service pins. They're just going to pop up quick, and there's a lot of them. We'll go really fast. So when we're all done, then we'll have a round of applause for the whole group. Does that make sense? Then we'll recognize the seniors, because they're awesome. And this is it. This is your last one. And so, they deserve a little round of applause. They put up with me for 7 years, right? Hunter's the only lucky one because he moved in in 7th grade, so he missed the first couple years. He's like, I'm not that sick of him yet. But all the rest are like, oh my gosh. Okay, so anyway, on we go. So I'm going to announce the letter winners. I'll also tell you what year they are earning. So if you hear a name pop up, also I gotta apologize. Almost always I make a mistake in doing this. I sure hope I didn't forget any seniors though. But if they're underclassmen, I'll just say it twice next year, right? Deal? Okay, so sorry if you guys missed the letter, you're like, oh shoot, you messed up. So here we go. Grant Pouch receiving a 2nd year letter winner, so they receive a pin with it. Gretchen Oltrogge, the 2nd year letter winner. Grace Brundrett is a 3rd year letter winner. Leo Burke is a 3rd year letter winner. Kai Cowell, 3rd year letter winner. Sadie Larson, 3rd year letter winner. Paige Westbrook, 3rd year. Gianni Gleason, another 3rd year. Jack Muller, 3rd year. Claretta Larson, year 3. And Garrett Even, year 3. Grace Swales is earning her 1st letter in band. Amelia Powers, 1st letter in band. Lily Bergman is a letter in band. Madeline Northey, 1st year. Anna Mullert, 1st year letter. Lila Gessman, 1st year letter. Emma Giesler, 1st year letter. Kennedy Spence, 1st year letter. Max Schwandt, 1st year letter. Lily Cooper, 1st year letter. Drew Bloker, 1st year. Anya Rapine, 1st year. And Abby Rusk, 1st year letter. Let's hear for those. Then on top of that, we also honor or recognize our color guard members, and here's why. It might be like, color guard, really? This is not a big deal, but listen to this. This is the only thing in our entire school that you can get cut from. Everywhere else, if you go out for a sport, you're like, hey, I'm on the team. You might not play, but you're on the team, right? You know what I mean? You might be on the bench, but hey, you still on basketball or volleyball or whatever. You still go to state, if they win a championship and you can play a minute, you still get the ring, right? But in color guard, we only have so many spots because the equipment that we have and the way that we write our marching band movements. So it's kind of a big thing to put yourself out there and know you might get cut from this. So I'd like to recognize those non-senior color guard members. We have Kiara Michaels in her 1st year color guard. Addison Carlson, 1st year in color guard. Macy Mathias, 1st year in color guard. Lacey Eben in her 2nd year color guard. Catherine Hazlett completed her 2nd year of color guard. And Amber Holman in their 2nd year of color guard. Yeah, and they should be standing, are they not standing? Yes, because unless you're the parents, you don't know who they are, right? So, hey, how about a round for these guys? We have good stuff. Hey, big smiles, right? Do they have big smiles? Because we tell them all the time before we go on marching band, hey, big smiles, everybody, even if you mess up, big smile. They weren't. They were eye rolling and stuff. All right, and now final 9th through 11th awards. We have a high honor. A high honor are the students that you earn so many points through the activities that you complete in band. Maybe playing a solo at a large group festival or doing honor bands, volunteering in any of the service, in the concession stand, or extra outside of school performances. Some kids maybe playing their church worship band or the bell choir, singing in the community, whatever. But the more that they make music part of their lives, the better it helps our group to be found. Because they start to see these musical skills carry over to everywhere. So it's just a great way that we have to honor that. So they earn points from doing this, and if they kind of double their letter amounts, they can also earn a high honor. So I'd like to recognize those students that earned a high honor this year. And again, I'll say the year that they have earned this high honor. Abby Rusk is a 1st year high honor, and also stand up. Anya Rapine is a 1st year high honor. Drew Bloker is a 1st year high honor. Lily Cooper is a 1st year high honor. Grace Swales, 1st year high honor. Gianni Gleason is a 1st year high honor. and Paige Westbrook, first year high honor. Sadie Larson is a third year high honor. Jack Mullert, second year high honor. Floretta Larson, third year high honor. And Garrett Even, third year high honor. Those students, I'm really sorry. They're the ones that, like, when Sean was talking about spending all the weekends and everything, that's probably the ones that spend the most time, you know, like going to honor bands and everything. At this time, I would like to just briefly recognize our seniors. I'll go down the list, and if I get to the end and say lastly, and there's still one more, somebody's gonna hit me, and then I'll be like, oh, I just, as a joke, I said that, just so that you know, in case I just forgot one last year. I thought she was just a junior. The whole year, I thought she was a junior, and I was like, wait, you graduating? You can't be. Sorry. All right, so they're just in alphabetical order. So first, please help me to recognize Alexis Werzer with the third year letter. Okay, by first name, alphabetical by first name. She was like Werzer, like, okay, but it's just, this is how I put it in. Next to her, Amanda Terrell, who was drum major, received a drum major pin, and third year letter writer. She might be 00, but she's number 1 in our hearts. Next is Avery Ford. Avery Ford is earning a letter in band. Next, way in the back, wave to us everybody, is Brady Boss. Brady Boss is earning a letter in band. Brady is the one who taught me like to never trust like a high five or a handshake. So he'd come up and he'd be like, "Hey, what's up?" And he'd do the like, pull it away. It's like, like I'm not doing that anymore. I'm fine. No, so it's not even fun. Next, Brooke DeVries. Brooke DeVries is earning a 4th year letter, 4th year high honor, 3rd year color guard, and color guard captain. Also, an inaugural member of like the bell choir. I think she's like a bell choir pro. And friendly to talk to if you go to the bank. Next is Chloe Ristow. Chloe is earning a letter and 3rd year color guard and color guard captain. Back in the trumpet section, not only winning our hearts, but also winning a letter, Connor Sheridan. If you see, he is handsome. I mean, there's just no way around it. Back in the percussion section, earning a letter, Corey Brainerd. Again, in the front row clarinets, Hannah Davis is earning a 3rd year letter. If you could tell, like where we're at in alphabet, like H and K is like the way to go. There's a lot of them. Next, over here in the tuba, rocking out Hunter Schallenberger, 4th year letter, 1st year high honor, and drum major. Then behind me and announcing, she's, you know what's so surprising? I kind of heard her be like nervous to talk. She came up to the microphone and I was like, that is the quietest I've ever heard you in my life. Jamie Wagner winning a letter in band. There are many reasons, I'm sure. Right next to her, Mackenzie Johnson earning a 3rd year letter. In the saxophone section, with a 4th year bar and 2nd year high honor, Molly Schroeder. Right behind me, 3rd year letter winner, Nora Olstroge. Again, in the front row, letter winner, Olivia Boer. Then, next in the trumpet section, 4th year bar and 4th year high honor, Sean Kiefer. And again from the front row, 4th year bar and 1st year high honor, Sydney Buss. think that's all of them. See, it's all of them. I did it. I was like, really wait. And if it wasn't, somebody's gonna be way upset right now. All right, now, before we play our last piece, this piece was chosen by the seniors. It's called Redemption. And they played it, I think, as freshmen at a large group festival. And here's like what was so magical about this is like the band they were working well. They were doing a good job. And this band actually taught me that I don't compliment them very much because they're like, we literally like got perfect scores and like you come back and we're like, all right, let's get to work. Let's make this better. And I was like, you're right. You did incredible. It was so incredible that one judge literally just said nice. She said nice 27 times. It was like, nice. Nice. It like sounded like she was getting a back massage or something, you know, like, nice. Wow, nice. And another judge is like talking, and he literally starts crying in the middle of the performance. He's like, oh, dude, you got me. Like, he's like sniffling everything, and like, of course, you know, like, I mean, not ugly crying, but you know, like some kind of like odd comments. The kids when they heard it are laughing, you know, because they're like, he's like, horns. Oh, kids, you know, he's like, are you enjoying a gourmet meal or listening to a performance here? What's going on? But like that's like a new level of just kind of like excellence. And music can move you so emotionally. You can hear something and it could just strike a chord in you. And you know, we took it like with a little bit of kind of like hey, that's pretty cool. But honestly, you know, like it's really a great thing that music can do. Everybody can probably think of a time that music has really moved you. And that's one of the greatest things that we get to do. All right, so before we play, there's something else.
So Sean gave his gifts, but from the senior class, we all have a gift. Sholly. Well, you can have him if you want him, but. This is a stand also made by the beautiful Suzanne Werther because Cooper's stand is always so full that he can never find anything, so we decided to get him a concert stand, and almost everybody signed it. So, thank you, Suzanne, for making wonderful gifts, and thank you, Mr. Cooper, for everything you've done for us for the last however many years we've been with you.
No, just hold it for the rest of the concert and just try to play the whole. I forgot. I said we have one more thing to give away. Every year we give to one senior the John Philip Sousa Award. It's not a secret. We actually presented it last night. It should be a secret to you either because you have heard about the student being accepted to the All-State Band, the All-State Jazz Band for 2 years, composing. Like this year, just taught himself piano. He's been to like every honor band. Tomorrow, literally at 7 o'clock in the morning, we are going to Ames for an honors recital where he was selected as the outstanding performer. And so it is with like obvious, so there's like no duh. The John Philip Sousa Award goes to Sean Kiefer. Sean, come on up. So in this award, first you have the John Philip Sousa Award, which is a national award, limited in how many you can give. We also have the certificate that he was named as the outstanding soloist at Solo and Ensemble. And we also have a $100 scholarship. Sean Kiefer. Okay, now without further ado, is it 9 o'clock? I hope it's not, because like we gotta get to the sweet spot. Oh my God. It goes at 9. Without further ado, our final piece. Ladies and gentlemen, I love these students so much. And it is so hard for me to like think about this being the last time that we play together. Like after like we lose students so much, we go through so much together. Like they're like a part of my family, but they won't visit at Thanksgiving and Christmas. And I won't see them again. I mean, maybe a couple times, but it's always a little awkward. Because they're like, should we hug? Like, I mean, it's been like 5 years. Like, how do you know? Like, I mean, it's good to see you. But let me just tell you, like, I mean, I am sad to see this end, but like the biggest thing that I've been trying to like just wrap my mind around is how grateful I am that I got to be with these guys for 7 years. Like we spent so many hours together. So parents, I am so grateful to call myself their band teacher. I'm so like pleased that forever they will get to like have memories of their time together in this band. And what they don't understand is like what they do. I mean, yes, they learn all kinds of things. They learn funny jokes, they learn music stuff. But like I learned so much from them, and it just like fills my heart year after year after year. So thank you so much. Our final piece, we hope that you enjoy it, Redemption. Really, after we're done this choir concert tomorrow, so the freshmen, sophomores, and juniors have to like break down the stage. The seniors, they're gonna go take pictures or whatever, but fresh, soft juniors, give them a minute to like clear the stage. Sorry, I should have done that first because I like totally ruined the moment. So like, trying to get Redemption.